Hi, welcome to my channel. I have 3 more Halloween DIYs in this video. I got this wee book from Dollar Tree. I actually got this one last year, but they have these kind of things every year. And then this scrapbook pad is from Amazon and I will link it down below. I tore out the pages that I wanted for the walls, and this is what I chose for the floor, so I'm just going to measure it, cut it out. I just need a small piece, so I'm just leaving it in the pad and then cutting out what I need. This DIY was actually inspired by someone else. I was watching some Halloween videos and the channel was called Creep Softly Studio, and I'll link it down below, but she made a witch's room with this book, so I decided I wanted one too. Obviously mine's is a bit different. I'm just measuring out the walls now, and then I'm going to cut them out. And I like to put it where I'm going to glue it down just to make sure it fits. I was seeing if it was going to fit that side, but it's a wee bit big, so I'm going to have to measure it and cut that to fit that to size. I also cut out 2 smaller pieces for the sides of the inside of the book, but I'm not going to show you that. I'm just using some Mod Podge and just brushing it all over the inside of the book so that I can stick my scrapbook paper down. You could use a glue stick if you wanted to. And I'm just putting Mod Podge on this. I'm not going to put it on top of the scrapbook paper when I stick it down. And you could do that if you want to. So I'm just placing all my pieces inside. And this one was a wee bit too big. I love watching people make these wee rooms. So this is a wee room for this DIY. The second DIY is the quickest, easiest DIY ever. And then the last DIY is another one of those fireplace rooms that I make. So I'm just using my heat gun to dry it and try and get rid of the air bubbles. And then I just trim off any that is sticking out. And now I'm just going to Mod Podge the other side on. So I couldn't decide which picture I wanted for the window because I'm making a wee window in this, and I just cut out the wee pictures that were on the front of this scrapbook paper. And I'm using these stickers to make the window frame. I wanted it to be a wee bit fancy. So I'm just going to do one strip and I'm just putting some Mod Podge on it. And I'm going to dry it off with my heat gun. And then I'm going to give it 2 coats of black paint. And it's just the same thing I did in my last video, the vampire one, if you watched it. I used these stickers in that. I love these stickers because you can paint them and they just look so nice on your projects. So I'm just doing a second coat of paint now. And then after that I'm going to put another coat of Mod Podge, and it's the matte Mod Podge that I'm using. I decided to go with this picture. It's got a full moon on it and a wee raven. And I'm just brushing some Mod Podge on the back. And then I'm going to stick it down. It was a wee bit too high up there. I'm just using my heat gun to dry it off and help stick it down. And then I'm just cutting out the sticker, and I'm just pulling off the wee bits of paint that were hanging off the edges from where I painted it. And these stickers are really good. All you need to do is cut one wee gem from the end of it, and then you can fit them in, and you can't even notice that you have joined them up. They're obviously sticky, but they're not too sticky that you can take them off and move them if you don't put them in the right place. I have some tower blocks and I'm going to glue them together to make a shelf to put inside the book. So I'm just gluing 4 together like this, and then I'm going to use another 2 standing up, so it just has a wee bit more support when I glue it on. And I'm using these half pearl stickers to make it a bit fancier. And then I'm going to paint over the half pearls with some Mod Podge, and then I'm going to do the 2 coats of black over the whole thing, and then a coat of Mod Podge over the whole thing. So I'm just going to show you me painting a wee bit, and then I'll do the rest off camera. Now that my shelf is dry, I've got one of these wee bottles from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put it in there so I know where to place my shelf. I couldn't find any more of these bottles this year, and this was the last 2 I had left. So I just used the wood glue to stick it down, but I'm going to put some hot glue on it as well, just to make it a bit stronger. Oh, and this is the fun part, decorating it with all the wee bottles. So that's one of the party favours from the party section, and I just pulled off the white top, and then that is a wee flame from the Dollar Tree Plus section. It was fairy lights, and I'm using them later on in the video, so you'll see what that came from. And then I just put a wee skeleton hand inside one of those wee bottles, and I had to heat it up a wee bit so I could squish it in. And then this is some green rocks from Dollar Tree. And that was me deciding what I was going to put in this one. So I'm just going to put a wee cut off of this greenery, also from Dollar Tree. The only thing that's not from Dollar Tree in this video is the scrapbook paper, and then a wee moon that I put in it later on. I was trying to set it up so that you guys could see what I was doing, and so I could see. And then I just glued everything in place. I was trying to put some red paint inside this bottle, but none would come out. So I went and got this blue colour shift one, and I put that in instead. Then decided my candle was a bit too white, so I just dry brushed some black paint onto it that was left over on the paintbrush. And this is a wee cauldron from Dollar Tree, and I'm just brushing some black paint on it so it's not so shiny, but only on the side that you're going to see. And then I have some paper towel, and I'm just scrunching it up and putting it inside, and then I'm painting the top of it so you don't see it. So the lady in the video used these plants to fill up her cauldron, and I obviously had some, so I was like, oh, that's a good idea. She put lights in hers as well, but I don't have any fairy lights to light this up, or else I would have definitely put one in the candle. So I forgot that I was supposed to put this stick in there, and I just keep filling it up and gluing the pieces of the greenery inside it. This other one looks more like bubbles, so I put that on top. My stick was too long, so I cut it down. I ended up cutting it down a bit more than that. I just hot gluing that inside. It's looking cute. And this is some scrapbook paper. It's called Cosmos by Stampedia, and I'm just going to take one little piece of it to decorate inside, and I can't remember what it says. Well, if you don't believe in magic, you'll never find it, something like that. And I'm just putting some black paint around the edges, and I'm going to Mod Podge that and stick it on it as well. And I just stuck it above the window. I decided I needed some of this to look like bubbles spilling down, so I just stuck that bit in. And these wee pots are from Dollar Tree, so I was just deciding if I was going to put them in there. Because I knew I was going to put the skeleton in there. So I'm just going to paint them black. I just give them one quick coat of paint. Now these stickers are from Dollar Tree as well, and I have some silver rub and buff, and I'm just going to rub that in the middle of the sticker to make it look like a mirror, and then I'm going to stick that inside the book. I'm going to glue my wee plant pots in now and then fill them up. So the big one, I'm going to put some bones in there and just chopping them down so that they are not too long. And then I'm going to put some greenery in the other one. And the cool thing about these wee rooms is you can put anything you want in them. There's no right or wrong thing. You can just fill it up with whatever you want your wee witch's house to have, or whatever theme you're going for. I'm just putting some rub and buff on this wee moon. I'm going to glue that in as well. And then I'm just going to place the skeleton. I'm not going to glue it down. And I love this because when you open it, it's a wee surprise inside. I got this skull in the Dollar Tree Plus section, and all I'm going to do with this is stick a wee plant from IKEA on it and make a planter. And they had different colours of these. They had black and gold, but I liked this oil spill colour, and I think this is so cute. I'm going to keep this up in my craft room all year round. I had to put a wee really easy DIY in here because the other two are a lot. This is an 8x8 canvas from Amazon, and I will link it down below. And I'm just placing some tower blocks, and I'm measuring and cutting them down with the miter shears. Some of them cut easy, some of them don't. And this is going to be my wee floor for the front of this room. I'm just doing 4 rows of blocks, but you can do more if you want to. It's up to you. Also, you could use a saw to cut the tower blocks as well. And then I just have it like a brick wall effect. You could also use just a piece of wood if you wanted to, or you could use a piece of wood or cardboard and then cut down some popsicle sticks to make floorboards if you can't get tower blocks. So I'm just going to glue them to the frame now. I'll just show you me doing a wee bit. I'm not going to show you me doing them all. I made mine a tiny bit long, but you won't even notice that once it's all put together. I'm using some more tower blocks to make a fireplace. So I'm just gluing 3 end to end and then gluing another 3 alongside them. And that's going to be my mantle. And then I'm going to glue 3 pieces together for the bottom and then 2 for each side. Make sure you let yours dry before you try and stick them all together. So I decided I wanted to make the sides thicker, so I'm just adding in 2 more tower blocks to each side. I gave them 2 coats of black paint. And then I'm going to use this black papers pad that I used at the start of the video. And it has all these pretty papers. You could use any of them for this. I actually made this DIY first. I'm going to use this one at the front and I'm just going to measure it. I was going to do it like that, but that wasn't going to work. So I get the ruler and measure it properly. And then I'm just going to cut it out with some scissors. Just check that it fits before you glue it down. I'm marking off the fireplace because I'm going to cut that out. I don't want that in the background of the fireplace. I have some matte Mod Podge and I'm going to use that to stick down the scrapbook paper. And I'm just brushing it on. I'm making sure I get it right in the corners. And I'm actually going to use this on the whole DIY. Back in Scotland, I actually had a black bedroom. It was all black with wallpaper like this. I loved that bedroom. I miss it. Had lots of fun in there. I definitely want to decorate my bedroom like that again, but my boyfriend is not into the gothic stuff. So I don't know if I'll get it like that again. So I didn't paint the back of this because I didn't have much black paint left. But actually, after doing all the DIYs in this video and the last video, I do have enough left to paint the back, so I'm going to go back and paint it. And I really love how the black paint looks with the Mod Podge over it. So I'll definitely be doing that for some DIYs in the future. So these are the bones from Dollar Tree, and I'm just placing them where I want them to go. And this is one of the necklaces from Dollar Tree, and I am just cutting off one of the wee skulls to put in the middle of my mantle, and I burned off the thread. I'm just going to hot glue these in place. You can hot glue them, you can hot glue them before you paint the mantle and just paint it all at the same time if you want to. But you might want to leave these this colour and not paint them black. But I just love how everything looks black. It's my favourite colour. So now I'm just going to Mod Podge the bones, and then I'm going to give it 2 coats of black and then Mod Podge the whole thing. I'm not going to show you all those steps because I've already shown you before. I don't think you want to watch me paint that much. So I'm just going to use some wood glue to glue my fireplace on. And I'm just going to leave it to dry. So this is a wee skull from Dollar Tree, and they don't sit, well, this one didn't sit straight, so I tried to melt it a wee bit with the hot glue on the bottom so it would sit straight. And then I'm just using some Mod Podge to paint it so I can get the paint to stick. And I'm just doing the same thing, the coat of Mod Podge, the 2 coats of black, and then another coat of Mod Podge. And then using my heat gun to dry it in between. So I have 2 pieces of wood round. These are from Amazon, I'll link them down below. I know you can get ones in Dollar Tree, I just never find them. And I am making a wee table for my fireplace scene. Oh, and now I'm making a chair. And then I painted them after that. So I'm using that wee necklace again, and I'm cutting off 2 bones and a skull. Now, I would want a fancier chair than this, but this is what Dollar Tree have. So I took one of those bigger bones, and then I cut that in half as well and glued that to the top of the chair. And then I got another bone, or was the leftover bit bones, and I used them to make, like, what are they called? The armrests on the side of the chair. It's late. I stayed up late to do this voiceover because everybody is in their bed and no one's going to come in and disturb me. This is one of the wee skeletons from Dollar Tree. I'm just using my hot knife to cut the back of the skull off because I want it to sit flat. And these stickers are also from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to paint it black. And I give it 2 coats of black. I should have done the Mod Podge first, but I didn't. And then I'm gluing my skull on it. And then painting the skull. I don't know why I didn't glue the skull, then paint the whole thing. And I'm giving it another coat of black paint. And then I'm going to do the Mod Podge on the top. I try and use as many things from Dollar Tree as I can for these wee scenes. Could make better scenes if you get stuff from other places, like actual proper miniature stuff, but that's expensive. So it's good that you can make these with mostly Dollar Tree items. So I'm going to stick this above my mantle, right in the middle. I found these skull candles in the Dollar Tree Plus section, and I knew straight away I had to have skull totem poles in one of these wee rooms. So I used my X-Acto knife to cut it at first, and then I was going to try and put it in one of these wee pots, but then I decided that I wasn't going to put in a pot. So I left this part in because you might want to put them in the pot, and I just kept chipping away at the candle to make it fit. And I was going to paint the pot black. So here I was thinking, what would it look like if I didn't use the pot, so that I could compare the looks and decide what I was going to do. And I thought it looked much better without the pot. So then I just cut them down to fit. I bought 2 packs. Well, I bought 1 pack and then I had to go back to the shop again because one of my candles broke, but it didn't really matter because I cut all that part off anyway. So the candle cut much easier with my hot knife, but I don't think you can see it on the video. It started smoking because some of the wax was left on it. That's me wiping the wax off, trying to get it to stop smoking. Anyway, I would probably leave these till last to put on because they can get damaged easy because they're just candles. And I did chip a bit and they're red inside, so I just touched it up with some of the black paint and then a bit of Mod Podge over the top, and you can't notice it. I just glued them on with hot glue. Now you don't have to put these on if you can't find them. I just wanted to make a room with loads of skulls and bones. Oh, I've got my wee helper now. So this was a table runner from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut off a piece to make a rug. As cute as she is, it is annoying trying to craft with her on my lap, but if I want to get stuff done, then I just have to do it. Like, I have her walker in the room, so she'll stay in that for a wee bit, and then she wants to sit on my lap. So I just keep trimming it down until it looks how I want it to look. And I'm just gonna glue it down with some Mod Podge, and I just put it on the underside. I didn't Mod Podge over the top of it. Usually I would use the wee logs for the fireplace, but they're not black, so I decided that I wanted to have coal in my fireplace, and I have these little black stones from Dollar Tree, and I am taking the rib cages from 3 skeletons to put in the fireplace to hold the stones in, and I'm just using my hot knife to cut them down, and then I'm going to paint them black. So I got these lights from Dollar Tree Plus section, and I bought them because they look like flames on them, and I didn't realise that you had to plug them in. I'm drilling a hole in the fireplace because I want to put 3 of these in there without the flame part on them, so it looks like the coal is glowing, and they're quite wide, so I really had to make a really big hole. So if you can either use these or you could use some fairy lights, but these do glow orange, and I think that I might swap them out for fairy lights and keep the flame part for the top part of the DIY, and then use fairy lights instead, because I can just put batteries in them. So I'm just gluing down my rib cages since I put the lights through. I'm going to drill 2 holes so I can make my... They're supposed to be wall sconces. I'm just trying to fit them through, but I had to make the holes so big, and then I had to make, I'll show you what I make to try and cover up the holes. So yeah, fairy lights would definitely be better, and then you could always put the flame part on top of the fairy lights, like what I did in my last video, the vampire one. I'm just painting the paper because it was white where I drilled it. And then I'm going to hot glue them in place and use some masking tape to hold it in place until it dries. Also, there's like so many lights at the back, like a big bunch of them. So I did look for fairy lights when I was in Dollar Tree, but I didn't find them. And yeah, I didn't realise these were plug-in. But it does turn out nice in the end. So this is me gluing them and then taping them in place. To hide the big holes and to make it look like they were 2 lamps, I decided to use these parts of the wee skeletons. I'm just going to glue the skull into the hip bone. I also had to cut off the back of the skull to make it fit. I just used my hot knife again for that. I just glued them together, and it actually turned out quite cool. As I wanted as much bones and skulls in this as possible. I'm just taking the tape off now, and then I'm going to glue them in front of the wee lights. And these are just some of the wee mini bottles from Dollar Tree. And I'm cutting off a skeleton hand, and then I melted it a tiny bit, well, heated it up, I didn't melt it, so that I could squeeze it in. And then I'm painting the cork black, and then I have some different shaped beads and I'm going to paint those black as well. If you have some clay, you could just make little pots and stuff and decorations for your mantle. And just placed on the mantelpiece to decide where I'm going to put them, and then I just hot glued them all in place. This is the wee black chips that I had, and I'm just placing them inside the fireplace. And this is how it turned out. This is it without the chair and the table. but I'll show you in the next clip what it looks like with them. I think I prefer it like this, but I love how this turned out. I did make another wee jar there. I just used some small, really tiny beads and painted them white so they look like eyeballs. And then this is it with the table and chair. Let me know which way you like better and which one of these DIYs is your favourite. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!